So welcome to the iHeartRadio Dunkin Lounge. I'm Lex Miller, and today we have a true powerhouse of the entertainment industry, Joshua Turchin.
Hi.
Woo-hoo! He has had an impressive journey from Broadway national tours to now writing his own original musicals. Joshua has captivated audiences everywhere. So let's delve into his incredible journey and creative process.
Sure. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited to be here too. I mean, I heard Soundcheck. I'm a huge fan of yours already, and I just can't wait to see you perform in person.
I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you. So, can you take us back to your first experience in the industry? What sparked your passion for performing?
Sure. I've always had a love for performing and music and just everything to do with the industry. But it really started when I came up to New York for 3 weeks in 2015, and I never left. And because I ended up getting cast in a national tour. I got an agent. It was the national tour of A Christmas Story, which was a crazy experience. And from there, I just kept on performing and kept music directing and writing. And I've been up in New York ever since.
Wow. So I was telling your mom this earlier, but fun fact, I actually knew who you were because of the Christmas Story tour.
Oh my God.
Which is so funny because I was in high school at the time and I was just like, wow, I want to be one of those like Broadway kids or one of those tour kids. And I remembered your name all this time. And then you started blowing up and I was like, well deserved. So this is amazing.
No, I started posting on TikTok and it was kind of a thing to pass the time during quarantine because when everything shut down, there was kind of that feeling of, what now? And I ended up making a bunch of videos on TikTok and following trends, and people started liking them, and people apparently like them, and it feels really weird.
You know what? It's amazing. But going back to A Christmas Story, can you talk about that experience a little bit?
Sure. I think I have a few people who are part of the Christmas Story tour here, right? Yeah.
Woo!
So you were my tutor. Yep. And Thatcher in the back, he was the understudy of the dad in A Christmas Story, the old man, and he ended up also being the child wrangler. And so I've known him since I was 8, and I've known you for over half my life now. That feels really weird. Christmas Story was really fun. My first year, I was Randy, who is the younger brother in the show, one of the principals. It was super, super fun to do because it was my first professional job, and it was just an incredible experience. In my second year, I was the swing, which was a very different experience. Still fun, but because of it, I learned how to memorize things very quickly, pick up on things. I have a funny story about this swing part, actually, because it was the first stop. It was 2016, and I just turned 10. And I was so sick. I had no voice. I was like talking like this. And it was very unfortunate because we were at our first preview and I had an entire setup backstage. I had my computer set up because the swing track, you were on stage for like one song in the beginning and one song in the end. Very easy, very light. So I'm just gonna mouth the words because I couldn't sing and hope for the best. And just go back. I had a steamer set up and we finished the opening number and the kid, I don't know if any of you know what Christmas Story is about. It's about a kid named Ralphie who really wants a rifle for Christmas for some reason because he's like obsessed with cowboys. And he has these friends, Flick and Schwartz. And in the opening number, everyone's on stage and the kid playing Schwartz isn't there. And I'm there, we're waiting in the wings because we all enter through the same wing, and I'm talking to the other kids. I'm like, where is Josh? Because his name was also Josh. So I'm like, where is Josh? And he wasn't there. And I don't remember what happened, but I was walking back to my dressing room when suddenly the entire wardrobe team and the associate director come running towards me, and they're like, you can't go back to your dressing room. You're going to go on Schwartz now. You're playing Schwartz. And I'm 10 years old and going, what? And I had no voice. I've never practiced the track, and I'm realizing I'm gonna have to sing, it's a sticky, sticky, sticky situation with no voice, which is like the most atonal Pasek and Paul song. And it ended up going, and it went well. I went on for Schwartz, and Josh and I are still friends, and I'm friends with so many people from the tour still, and I talk to them a lot. And it was just such an amazing first experience in the industry because, being a principal as my first job really made me realize how much work goes into performing. And then being a swing made me realize how much swings have to do, because I understudied every single child's role in the show, and I had to go on for multiple different kids over the course of like 2-3 months. And overall, it was just an experience I wouldn't trade for anything, because it really helped prepare me for becoming an adult in the industry, which I just became a few weeks ago, which is really fun.
So wait, I have to ask, did you get to go on for all your tracks?
I did not. I was like an understudy for Ralphie. There was one time where I was really close to going on, but what they did for Ralphie is they had 2 alternate tracks. So there was Ralphie, and then there was another track named Theo. No, it wasn't Theo. It was Thor for some reason, because the first kid who played that track was like, I want to name my part Thor. And so I ended up going on for Thor a lot, but I never went on for Ralphie. I never went on for Randy, but I did go on for a lot of the ensemble kids, which was very fun, because there's so much stuff that the kids in the show have to do. They have to carry people. They have to move multiple props or multiple scenic things. There was a lot going on in the show. There was a giant tap dance number, so having to learn each individual tap dance part was fun. But yeah.
That's awesome. So from A Christmas Story, you got to play Flounder in The Little Mermaid.
I did.
And selfishly, I'm obsessed with The Little Mermaid, so I need to hear everything.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
I played Flounder in the Hollywood Bowls version of The Little Mermaid. I sang She's in Love. It was an incredible experience, because the Hollywood Bowl is like 17,000 seats, and at the time I was 12, and it was nerve-wracking, because when you enter on that stage, you're like, oh, it's just performing, it's gonna be easy, and then you step out and then you see this giant theater, and you're just kind of like, oh no. And the stage itself is huge. It's literally like 2 normal Broadway stages put together. It's that size. So you have to run across the stage to get to the other side. And it was an amazing experience. It was with Harvey Fierstein. It was with Leah Michelle. It was with Ken Page, who recently passed away, which when I heard that happened, it really hurt, because I worked with him at the Hollywood Bowl. He was Sebastian. Cheech Marin was the chef, which was very fun. It was really fun. And then there was me playing Flounder. And I'm still friends with multiple of the Merce sisters in the show. Holly, who is one of the Merce sisters, I still talk to on a daily basis. And she's so amazingly talented and so sweet. And yeah, they let me keep some of the stuff from that show too, because there is a cut thing from one of the moments in the show where do you guys know The Little Mermaid, right? There's like a moment where Vanessa, who's really Ursula in disguise, spoiler alert, she ran onto the stage. It was one of the actresses, and she was being attacked by different puppets and then ran off stage. And it was the live-to-film version of the movie, so it was in between the film, and there was like a live orchestra playing behind us. It was incredible. And there was a scuttle puppet that they cut, because they ended up getting rid of that, because I guess they realized people are going to be watching the giant screen. They're probably not going to see the people. So I have the scuttle puppet still. It's in my room, and I see it every day, and I think, wow, I wish this was used. Because now it's like kind of cut into like 3 different pieces. It's really just a seagull stuffed animal on a stick, but it's my seagull on a stick.
As it should be. I think you should post a picture of that.
I feel like I should
really
too.
think you
After
should.
this, I'm gonna go home and take it out.
Justice for the scuttle puppet.
Exactly.
So the real reason you're here today is you've pivoted a little bit from acting to composing. So can you tell us about the moment you decided to write your first musical?
Sure. I mean, I've been writing songs since I could first reach the piano keys. And I ended up writing a musical when it was like 10 through 12. And it was mostly happening because I was getting to the point where I was too tall to be in shows and too small to be in shows. So I was just really the perfect age to write because I wasn't working. And well, no, sorry, I mean, I was still doing a lot of stuff, but it was much more dead than it had been previously. And I'm like, that's a fun idea for something to write about. And then I wrote about it, and then there was this musical theater festival that was doing its first season off-Broadway and off-Broadway. And I sent it in. It was a blind submission process, so they didn't know I was 12. And it ended up getting accepted.
That's
And
unbelievable.
it was such an amazing experience because it really taught me how important it is to rewrite in theater. Because they say that most of writing is rewriting, and oh my God, they were not kidding. But it really taught me so much, and it was a really great experience.
That's awesome. So you won Best Book for Perfect Fit.
Yes.
And is that the musical that you
that was the show, and
That's unbelievable.
So much time was spent rewriting that book. There was a lot of stuff that I was trying to fix because when I sent it in, it was like a 2-act show, and it really, in my opinion, now knowing what I can do writing, wasn't that great. Now, for a 12-year-old, it's really good, but trying to get it to a place where it could have been, like where the book could have been performed and sound natural and make sense and make narrative sense, have the characters have wants, was very important.
So, I mean, at 12 years old, that is no small feat, though. But that's unbelievable that you were able to accomplish that at such a young age. And now you said, like, taking what you know now to go on to bigger things. So what inspires your songwriting and your book writing? Are there specific themes or experiences? Like you said, being a child actor is one of them. But, like, is there something specific that resonates with you?
I love writing for time periods and genres. Those are the types of things that really inspire me. Like right now, I'm in the process of working on a little pirate musical, which is really fun because from that, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from sea shanties and a lot of Irish folk songs and Scottish folk songs, and a lot of also early like 1700s colonial America songs, because that had such a distinct style, and to replicate that is so much fun. And so that's really what I try to use for inspiration. I try to listen to, like, if I'm writing a song that's like a 1930s pop song, for example, which is just like a lot of like 1930s jazz songs follow a very specific structure. So I love to be inspired by the structure of those like older songs, because that's the foundation for all modern pop music. So it's very important to me.
Are you a history buff to begin with, or just things that you've done in your research?
Kind of. I don't know if I would consider well, maybe I am a history buff. I've never considered myself a history buff, but I love studying history. So if studying history makes me someone who loves studying history, I guess I love studying history.
So can you tell me more about this pirate musical?
Sure.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so I started working on it after a very eventful cruise, and it's a lot of fun. What the show is about, it's about a boy who kind of gets swept up into the world of piracy right as it's coming to an end, because the end of the golden age of piracy was a very, very big event. And there's a lot of different forms of media that I'm using for inspiration, because at that time, of course, there was no social media, and there was no way to get information quick. But there were a lot of newspapers, and there were a lot of journals, like historical journals, that have records of pirate trials, that have records of pirate wrecks, that have records of people going after pirates. And that's one of the things that makes me so excited to kind of tell this part of history. And I'm working on it still, and it's going well. I'm in the process of doing a lot of rewriting for plot and re-outlining and writing more music, which is coming soon, so I'm really excited.
So can you talk about how you approach that process, like your writing process?
Sure, yeah. I guess as it pertains to music, I know a lot of people have the question, do you start with music or lyrics? First, I start with an outline of the song, honestly. I write down what the song should be about. I write down, why is this song going to be sung? What is the style of the song? What is the emotion of the song that's I'm trying to get across? And then from there, I write, how does this get a character from point A to point B? And I just write this entire outline at like the top of my notes document, because I write all my songs in notes, which is very helpful, except when there's no cell service, because then I can't get to it. But otherwise, from there, I start working on a first lyric, because I think first lyrics are the most important part of a song. A lot of people talk about whether hooks are important or the verses. It's always the first lyric, because that's where everyone gets the expectation for what the song's going to be. The first lyric and the first part of the song sets up what the song is, number one, going to be about, what the structure is going to be, if it's going to be verse, chorus, or whatever structure. And from there, I write the music, and I write the music based on what I think would best match how the first lyric sounds. And then it evolves from there. Sometimes songs, like, come really fast, and they come instantly, where I'm like, this makes the most sense, this is the line, this is the line, this is the line. And then there are songs I write that I'm feeling, oh, why did I say that? No. And that's where rewriting comes in, because I've done so much rewriting on songs, and even before I get to a first full draft of the song, I have pages upon pages of scrapped lyrics that will never see the light of day, or may see the light of day in another song. And when I'm trying to write a song, at least for lyrics, I like doing things that make as much sense spoken than as sung. Because if I'm going to have a lyric that's super poetic, it doesn't really need to be a song, because poetry in and of itself is its own song form. So finding something that makes sense sung to music, makes sense spoken, makes sense for the character, are all things I try to look for when I'm writing a song.
I'm learning so much right now. That is
Yay!
It's just such a thought-provoking thing. Like, again, I'm the kind of person, like, I know songs from, like, the first chord if I've heard it 1,000 times, but you're right.
Yeah.
The first lyric really is just, like, sets the whole...
Yeah.
Wouldn't have even thought of that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So how has your experience as a performer influenced your songwriting over the years?
As a performer, I've really learned, because I'm now I do a lot of composing, and I do a lot of music direction around different places in New York City. Writing things that can be sung is very important, because I look back at, I remember the first thing I ever orchestrated and the first thing I ever wrote harmonies for was a song from The Perfect Fit when I was 12. And it was not good. The harmonies I wrote, and the types of orchestrations I was doing were unplayable and unsingable. Because having someone go like da 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 da, like trying to match like when I was much younger, trying to match what was in my head with what was going to be sung was hard, because of course there has to be compromises when it comes to working on harmonies, because you want something that's not going to blow someone's voice out 8 times a week. Because when you write like in the stratosphere, it becomes unsingable, and it could end up hurting someone. And I think as a composer, that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to be responsible for someone injuring your voice because they were trying to sing one of your songs and it was so high.
I think that's something you really should pride yourself on, because especially like as a girl, like having to work on like your belt and all these things, but if you're singing in the stratosphere 8 times a week, it's a lot. So thank you for doing that. So can you talk a little bit more about your music direction and your recent projects at both 54 Below and the Green Room?
Sure, yeah, I'm gonna put down my water. I do a lot of stuff at Green 42 and 54 Below. I actually had one at 54 like about a week ago. I do things there all the time, same with the Green Room, and I find it so much fun, and I especially love working with bands. I think when I'm playing with a band, it's the most special experience for me, because we're all listening to each other, we're all listening to the performer, so there's a lot of multitasking happening on stage just to make sure that we're all going to try and make the performers sound good. And it's whenever like that cohesiveness works, it works, which is very, very special. I love working with performers. I love being able to play new songs and explore different styles of playing. Like recently, I've been doing a lot more jazz playing because I've been doing a lot more jazz in my shows. And it's the most incredible experience. And being able to do that with singers in a band and having a crowd listen to it, it's really incredible. And yeah.
That's amazing. And do you know who the band is beforehand? Like, do you have a collaboration kind of thing that you get to deal with?
Yeah, I would say I use a lot of the same people for shows. I do know who the band is before the show because I need to know what are they going to be able to play, what's their skill set, what are they the best at, what can they add to the show is very important. And I'm doing a show. I'm doing a few shows next week over the next 2 weeks at Green Room and 54, where I'm playing with totally new people who I've never played with before. And I love playing with new musicians because even if we don't know each other, we all kind of speak the same musical language. And so there's always that connection with them.
That's awesome. So finally, can you tell us a little bit about the songs you'll be playing today?
Sure. So I'm going to play 3 songs. 2 of them are from the Pirate musical, and one of them is a standalone song. Everything you're going to be seeing today is finished, but still in progress, because things evolve over time, and rewrites happen. And yeah, I'm going to sing a song called Captain's Code. I'm going to sing a song called Sailed Away. Both are from the Pirate musical, and then I'm going to show a new one that's a more country pop style called This Is Your Life. And I'm really excited to debut that here.
That's so exciting. And lastly, I'd be remiss not to ask you, as we are in the Dunkin Music Lounge, if you could have coffee with anyone at a Dunkin' Donuts, who would you want it to be?
Oh, that's really hard.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say my family.
Cute.
Who's here?
Cheesy, but very cute.
Yeah. And Alan Menken, but mostly my family. No, but my family.
Amazing. Well, take it away, Josh. Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Thank you. One of the songs from the Pirate musical I'm currently working on. This is not an older version, but an in-progress version because things are changing in the show. The show is still in development, so things are added and taken away literally every single day. So I hope you all like it. Every free man has the right to vote on any affair given on our boat. If a man votes wrong, then we slit his throat, 'cause he broke the captain's code. If a limb is lost, then a man will beg to cover the cost of his own right leg. If the money's lost, he'll be shot instead, 'cause he broke the captain's code. And you don't fight back if they cut your hand. Every man's fight is left on land. And the fight will end when blood is drawn. No matter who dies, we sail at dawn. Clean up your mess and thank God you survived one more day. If you want to be free, then you better obey. Better obey, better obey, better obey the captain's code. Better obey, better obey, better obey, better obey the captain's code. Sneak aboard a maiden fair and cover her clothes and cover her hair, then your lover and you will be left bare to watch as we sail away. If we find you gambling for a price, and we've warned you once when you've gambled twice, you'll be left no share but your cards and dice. And you watch as we sail away. And you don't stand down if your crew gets caught, and you don't stand down when your captain's shot. If you're standing down when the ship's at war, then it's not our ship that you're fighting for. When the war's over, you get on your knees, boy, and pray. If you want to be free, then you better obey. Better obey, better obey, better obey the captain's code. Better obey, better obey, better obey, better obey. If the sailor steals another's pay, then he'll be dead by the end of day. If the money somehow disappears, we slit his nose and cut his ears. The captain keeps us safe and fed. We serve the ship until we're dead. We all repay the debt we owe by following the captain's code. Pray. Don't keep secrets from your crew or lie about the things you do and cry when we all learn it's you who broke the captain's code. So take your pistol, take your sword, get on your knees, pray to the Lord, 'cause someone's going overboard. You broke the captain's code. Better obey, better obey, better obey, better obey, better obey the captain's code. Cool. Thank you. So that song I really love writing in sea shanty style. So that was inspired by a lot of different Celtic and sea shanty songs. That's why there was a lot of, percussion in the beginning. And yeah, I'm going to do the second one now, which is called Sailed Away. It takes place towards the end of the show. And, I mean, who doesn't love a good ballad? I sailed away so my mama is safe, 'cause my mama is safe without me. I sailed away so my father is safe, 'cause my father is safe without me. And I went on the run like I had killed their son. Oh, I sailed away. So my brother is safe, and my brother is safe without me. I sailed away so my sister is safe, and my sister is safe without me. It never was the same when they forgot my name. Oh, I sailed away. Same place I left them, safe in their home, safe on land, safe and doing fine without me. No, they won't cry. Oh, on the day I die, they've done their crying. So have I. I sailed away from my family at home, and my family's at home without me. I sailed away from my family at home, and I'm there at home on the sea. Thank you. Now it's time for the last one. Who's excited? Yay, I'm excited. So, this one is called This Is Your Life, and this kind of spurred from an idea I had when I was sitting in my bedroom. I really didn't want to do schoolwork, because I'm a junior at NYU, which is really fun. I'm in a philosophy class right now, so I've been thinking a lot. Thank you. And I was when I was writing the song, I was thinking, what would have happened if someone like who I knew in the future came back in time and told me literally how my entire life was going to go? And that's what kind of caused the song to happen. If I traveled back in time a few years before we met, oh, I promise that I'd tell you all I know. Though you wouldn't recognize me, I'd take you from your door, and I'd show you how your life was gonna go. When you move out of your family's house, you'll cry all night. So your mom is gonna call to check if you're all right. And though we'll try to hide it, it'll make your daddy cry. You were always daddy's girl, but you'll have to say goodbye. This is your life, make it a good one. This is your life, I guarantee that I can tell you just how good your life's gonna be. This is your life, it's a good one, wait and see. When you're in your senior year, you won't study for exams, 'cause you'll go and party with your friends instead. You'll hop from bar to bar until you're in some fancy car, and they'll take you home and end up in your bed. And you'll never truly see him 'cause your love is blind, and you'll never really say to him what's on your mind. When you need his chest to cry on, well, he doesn't want your weight, and you'll always stay up worried why he's coming home so late. This is your life, make it a good one. This is your life, I guarantee that I could tell you just how good your life's gonna be. This is your life, it's a good one, wait and see. And though you almost don't, you'll graduate, and you'll get your first job doing something you'll hate. You'll break up with a guy 'cause he treats you bad, and you'll move back home to your mom and dad. You'll meet a man with a heart of gold. It'll feel like young love, but we both got old. If I had the chance to love you way back when, I'd take your hand and do it all again. This is your life, make it a good one. This is your life, I guarantee that I could tell you just how good your life's gonna be. This is your life, it's a good one, wait and see. Oh, it's a good one. Yay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the Dunkin Lounge. Thank you to iHeartRadio. Thank you to you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to sound and live stream. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. It's really an honor, and I'm so thankful. Thank you.